Hello! Thank you for tuning into this week's reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them, of course. That being said, for the main part of the read, I'm using Gilded Tarot Royale by Chiro Marchetti. And the text is by Barbara Moore. If you need to freeze frame to see the spelling, I understand, definitely. I knew the website a minute ago, and my brain said, forget that information. I want to say it's llewellyn.com. Here, I'll just show it to you. It's there at the bottom, I just can't read it at the moment. So hopefully it's focusing on camera. If we get a little closer, it gives you some social media links too, so feel free to check that out. I want to say it's Llewellyn, I could be wrong. Oracle cards, Spellcasting Oracle cards by Flavia, Barbara, and Lisbeth. That's how you spell their names. Website on the back that I always notice is shewhoisart.com. Feel free to check that out if you would like to. I think there's a couple other ones on there too, so I'll move it up so you can see anything you want to see. And I use dice. I use a 22-sided dice for the major arcana. I substitute 22 for 0 for the Fool. And then I have a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana and a 4-sided dice to choose the element to match up with the minor arcana. They're from here, the math, I think it's mathartfun.com. Hopefully you can see that website if you want to. I think it's mathartfun.com. Alright. That being said, if you would like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and let's get into your reading. Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. The readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Scorpio? Justice card shows up for you. It showed up for a Cancer too. I just did Cancers. Justice card was showing up for them too. I mean, it kept showing up. Showed up in the dice and everything. You don't have to be dealing with a Cancer, but there's definitely some similarities going on here. All right, let's see what we got. The truth is coming forward, and it's going to be quite bright. It's going to be quite noticeable, quite right there. Do you already know the truth? Because you might. You might have an inkling for it at the very least. So, like, Judgment and the Eight of Pentacles. You know something's not right. Whatever the situation is, you know something isn't right. Somebody made a mistake. And it didn't hurt you when they made that mistake. You were fine. In fact, whatever mistake they made, it might have gone to your benefit. But you're like, yeah, it's gone to my benefit, but I still know something right there. I feel a little detached from it, ironically. I do feel a little detached from it. I feel like you've been making up your mind about what you're going to do with this situation. You've just kind of let it be what it's going to be. Very self-sufficient with the Nine of Cups. The Temperance card coming in, balancing it out, just keep moving, keep moving. You might have been, due to whatever this is, been making your decision about making changes. But you're kind of like, well, I don't know if I'm going to make that change today or tomorrow, but I'm going to make that change at some point. And I feel like it may not have started off that way, but you might be kind of at that place where you're kind of like, you know what? This isn't worth my energy. Could I do something with it? Yeah. Am I gonna? No. Because it's... Excuse me. Like, I'm not going to the neighbor's house just to clean up their yard. Why would I do that? Especially where it's kind of like, if I was going to do it with that, I'd have to do the whole street before it looked the way I thought it would, so why would I go do that? So it's kind of like, maybe when I was younger I had the energy to do that. I'm not going to do that. I have my own stuff. I have stuff I'd rather do. Instead of going to clean up their yard, maybe I want to go create something on my own. Maybe I want to take a course. Maybe I want to do this. Maybe I'm not going to police their stuff. I just refuse to do it. Feel like that's why you're kind of stepping out of it. Kind of like, I feel like I'm tending to their responsibilities, and I don't want to do that. And that's not something I should have to do, let alone want to do. There's something here. They did something wrong. It went to your benefit in the beginning, but over time you're like, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this. I just feel like I just don't want to do it. I'm just like, no, this isn't working for me. And I feel like I've been slowly but surely thinking about how I'm going to exit this situation, because it's just not worth my time anymore. And in fact, I might be scrutinizing it like, I thought it was worth my time at one point, but truth has come forward, and maybe not. Maybe not. There's something coming in really fast. Justice is coming in with a lot of speed with this Eight of Wands. Now, typically, Justice can't talk about Libra energy. It can. That's about the truth. That's about balancing things out. It's also more of a peaceful card, ironically, which I don't think people see all the time. But it is ironically more about a peaceful, like, let's let it go. Let's do what we're supposed to do. And just people, this is where you should be. You go there. That's where you should be. You go there. We're going to divide this out fairly. You take yours. You take yours. All right, now everybody go away. It's more like that. Like, sometimes it's more hands off. Sometimes it's more emotionally detached. Sometimes. And it's interesting to me because Scorpio is a powerhouse of emotion. Typically, like, that's a very strong, very emotional, a lot of power coming through that. And I feel like the lack of a reaction, for whatever reason, but it might be because you've already made up your mind. The Tower's hitting, but I feel like I'm in this place of healing with the Four of Swords, and I'm like, oh yeah, that tower fell over. Yep, I'm dead. Yeah. Oh, look at it go. Yeah. And I almost feel like there's energy around this, like, Scorpio, aren't you going to go clean that up? And you're like, no. Aren't you upset? Maybe later. I feel like I'm like, blah, maybe later. Blah. I don't know. If I'm off, let me know. Because I keep feeling like, yeah, I could get upset about it, but I don't want to. But you've been dealing with this situation. You've been thinking about it. You've been watching. You've been paying attention. You've been making your own decisions. So the fact that it's falling apart, you're like, I was leaving anyway. So it's almost like if I was going to equate this to a job, it's kind of like something went to my favor at this job, but I knew, like, there were some rats here. And sooner or later, I kept feeling like it's not going to work for me. It's working for me now, but sooner or later it wouldn't. So maybe you've been out there looking for other jobs. Maybe you've been interviewing, and you're like, and somebody's like, oh my God, we just lost a big client. That's going to be a problem. And you're like, I guess it is. Meanwhile, you're like, you're already ready to move on, and you've been looking anyway. So, like, and you're kind of looking like you're probably going to have a new job soon anyway. So you're like, yeah, that's bad. If I was still going to be here, I guess it would be bad, but I'm not. So I think that if this is hitting, I feel like that might be one of the reasons. Like, you're not really. You're like, oh, look at that crash. Oh yeah. Maybe I'm oversimplifying that, but you know what you're going to do. You know what you're going to do. And when the moment comes and you start moving, and the Justice card comes up again. People are getting what they deserve, and you'll move forward when you need to, when you want to, not when they want you to. You're not here to be somebody else's pawn. No, thank you. That was never an option. Even if they thought it was, they were wrong, and that's that. More information starts coming forward. Is that you, or what's going on here? What is going on here with this? There's stress in this situation. I get that. The Emperor reversed, which is ironic because that's another Justice card. That's just more of a brutal version of honesty. Especially because it's kind of coming in upside down. And then the Queen of Fire coming in. Somebody coming in hot. Somebody coming in hot. It's almost like somebody, like if we're going to use that same analogy, kind of like Scorpio, we just got notice that you've been looking for other jobs. You've been interviewing with other companies. And I almost feel like that's how this is coming out, and you're like, oh, you figured that out. But I almost feel like at the same time, it's like, okay, like, yep, yeah, I'm doing that. I don't know if you're telling them that you know, or I don't know. I don't feel like I don't know if you're really like showing your poker hand in this situation, but like they're getting upset. They're like, we know what you're doing, and you're like, okay, then you do. I also feel like it's also kind of like you probably don't know everything, but maybe you caught some pieces. I just feel like I'm not telling them anything. They're like trying to get you to talk, and you're not talking. That's what I'm getting with this Knight of Swords. You're like, no. No, I'm not telling you things. I know you're trying to play a game with me here. I'm not playing back. They're saying don't ignore this. Okay. Because I feel like your natural energy is like, I'm just going to keep myself busy and keep going the way I want to go. They're saying don't do that. Okay. Let's see what they're... I'm getting don't do that. Seven of Pentacles reversed in the Strength card. So that means like something is building and going nowhere. So be careful. When that moment happens, I feel like I don't give out information. I feel like the timing is off at this point. Keep it to yourself and try to figure out like, wait, without talking or giving out information to them, try to find out how they figured out what's going on here. Because I do feel like you're getting ready to make your exit from this situation, but it's kind of like less is more. They don't need to know what's going on. Usually Scorpio is really good with keeping secrets, so I'm not worried about that, but like who found out what and why? Like what's going on? We need to know that. It's not quite time for you to move on yet for whatever this is. We got to tie up a couple more loose ends before you go. It'll serve you better that way. But like they're saying, like, who did somebody betray you? How did somebody find something out? What's going on here? How did we know that? I do feel like they're saying, yeah, you kind of want to find out in this instance how people knew what they knew without showing your poker hand, which I feel like you can do that. I'm a water sign. I'm Pisces. So I'm thinking there might be some intuitive nudges. Follow your intuitive nudges very carefully, very quietly. Don't let people know that you're looking. And try to figure out where this came from is what I'm getting with that. Because you are going to make a change, and it's coming forward on its own time. Whatever the change is, it's coming forward on its own time. Transformation is happening here, and it is moving forward. But I feel like I got to be careful not to bring some energy forward with me. I do have to be careful that I don't bring some energy forward with me. I got to find out, like, how did that kind of happen? Because I might be surprised. It's almost like, for example, maybe you have a partner or a family member or a friend that's not connected with, say it's a work situation. They don't work there. But they've made friends with people you work with, and they're the ones who are spilling the beans. And it's kind of like, why did they do that? It almost feels like somebody like that is like spilling the beans about what's going on with you. And it's kind of like, why are you talking about my business? I am getting an issue with this, with somebody. It doesn't have to be literal family. It does not have to be literal. But somebody that you don't expect to be telling your business is kind of telling your business. That's interesting. Whatever the situation is, we don't want to bring the devil forward with us. Can Scorpio deal with the devil? Definitely. But it's okay. When you know that the devil's there and what the devil is doing, that's one thing. You can keep that under control. You can manage that as you need to. But if the devil is moving forward or moving behind the scenes very quietly, kind of slipping here, slipping there, and doing this and doing that, you need to know who that is. For this reading, I feel like they just want you to figure out who it is, and you'll take it forward from there as necessary. Because it's one of those things, Scorpio is very good at keeping secrets. And sometimes it's a tactical advantage, I know, so I don't know how you're going to look at this, but like when you figure out what somebody's doing behind the scenes, you may not call them out, but you're going to be like, well, what else are you doing? And you may just keep your eye on them for a while, just kind of like, what else is going on with this one? Like, I feel like they just want you to see it. They want you to see it, figure out who it is, and then move forward as you feel necessary. I know Scorpio can call people out if you find it necessary. Scorpio is also can be. I feel like y'all can be tactical if you need to, because you can keep secrets like nobody's business. I swear, even your secrets have secrets. I could be wrong. If I'm nuts, I'm nuts. But they want you to like use your intuition, make sure you prove to yourself what's going on here, and then just be aware of what's going on here, and then keep an eye open. Just watch it, see what goes on. What else is going on with this one? If they were doing that, what else are they doing? One of those things. Are we good? Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.